Well, it's the end of day one of Q School Stage 1, and we're delighted to say that Nick Fullwell has joined us. And Nick, you've qualified for Stage 2. You must be a relieved man, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm over the moon, to be fair. Q School's always hard. There's loads and loads of players capable of qualifying, and to qualify first stage, you've got to be pleased with yourself. And yeah, enjoy the day.
It's quite tricky, isn't it? Because now that you have got through, you've obviously made the decision to return home for some rest.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I mean, with the COVID situation and everything, you just can't be too careful. So I've decided to come home and have a couple of days rest at home, and then go back down on Wednesday for the final stages.
You played last year in a bubble, of course, which we forget.
Yeah.
Which was quite an experience, I'd imagine. You played all 3 days of Stage 1 last year, and you got through on the order of merit.
Yeah,
and this year you got through straight away. So I guess it's a different experience.
Yeah. I mean, the draw came out today, and I'd got a very, very difficult draw today. I got some very good players in my section of the draw, and I played well enough to get through. I'm happy with the way I played today.
Look at that. So I describe it as the Graham Usher sends his best, by the way, who I've spoken to earlier this evening. I think you were sharing a table with.
Yeah.
And I described it as, for him, the 6 stages of hell. So if you was the 5 stages of hell today, Nitin Kumar, Connor Scott, and then the last 3 games, Ben Quemby, Scott Taylor, and Rob Owen, you were trailing in all 3 of those, and you were able to dig and find some reserves there. What do you remember about those last 3 games? What were you thinking?
The Quimby game, that was a really tough game for me. I think I got a lot of inspiration from that game, to be fair, because he was a lot better player than me, and I just sort of hung in there and kept going and got. I think I took 814 to beat him when he was sat on a double. And in the last 2 games, I was down against Scott and managed to win the last end. And same against Robert in the final game. It wasn't my best game, but I got through in the end. Yeah, which I'm well pleased with.
You've done so many of these, and from an outsider looking in, we certainly think that the standard goes up every year. Is that a fair assessment from your experience?
Well, what I would say about from experience and everything, there's a lot more young players coming through now, and the standard of the game for the youngsters now they're coming through is unbelievable. I mean, I've been on the circuit a long time now, and I get to know a lot of players, and you tend to know their games, but it's all these youngsters coming through. You just don't know what to expect against them, and they can all average 90 to 100 plus average every time they play. So it's frightening. You've got to be on your game every time you play now. It's very tough, very, very tough.
And obviously, you reached Stage 2 last year. How does your game compare with this year? How are you feeling this year compared with last year's?
Well, so at the end of the year, I did a lot of WDF, and I was coming to a bit of form towards the end of the year, and I was looking forward to the Worlds, which obviously got cancelled. The way I was feeling, I fancied my chances of actually winning that tournament, but that's been and gone now, and it's been rescheduled for April. But I decided, along with a lot of players, to come to Q School and give that a go again. And yeah, obviously that's the everybody wants to play at the highest level they can, and obviously the PDC is the highest level that you can play. So yeah. It was a last minute decision, but I'm glad I've sort of done it. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what they do with the Lakeside, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
That's it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, just comparing last year's event to this year's, obviously, last year it was in a bubble. You had to do your own chalking, and
it was sort of. It was a long. I think we were away for 8 days in the hotel, and you were kept in a bubble. So as soon as you finished the game, you were back to your room, and that was it. You sort of shut in your room, and you came out next day when you were ready to play again. And as soon as you finished, then you was back. So it was tiring. It was hard, and having no company or anything, it was very, very hard. It was difficult, but that's the times at the moment, unfortunately.
All a thumbs up for how the PDC have handled it so far.
Yeah, I think looking at the Worlds and everything, when they started having one or two players dropping out, it was a lot of players would probably think, oh, Q School's probably not going to go ahead and everything. But to be honest, it's been brilliantly run today, and everybody's turned up, and we've sort of kept to the restrictions and everything like that, and it's been fine. It's been absolutely fine, yeah.
So I guess the burning question is what you're going to be up to between now and Wednesday. Now that you've got some time.
Well, I'm gonna relax a bit now. The pressure's off me a bit, so I'm gonna get quite a bit of practice in, hopefully, and be back there Wednesday, raring to go again, and just enjoy my 2 days off.
Nick, obviously it isn't just you that's up. There's a whole team behind you, of course. Just a word for any sponsors or any supporters that you may have.
A massive shout out to Steve Carey at CBS, who looks after me. He's a great guy. I've been with him for a few years now. Black Country Mental Health is in the times we're in at the moment is a massive plus for me to have them on board, and also Volcano Darts, and also QSOL that are going to supply my darts and everything for the future. So yeah, all's good.
Thanks ever so much for your time, and all the very best for Wednesday.
Thanks ever so much. Cheers. Take care now. Bye.